Hello and welcome back to Proactive New York. I'm Christine Corrado. With me right now is Jerry Chan, CEO at TAAL Distributed Information Technologies. Jerry, so great to meet you. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you very much.
Jerry, if you wouldn't mind, could you start off with introducing our investor audience to the company?
Sure. TAAL is a vertically oriented blockchain infrastructure service provider. And our objective is to serve enterprise clients and to bring sort of the missing piece of blockchain technology to enterprise users, which is a counterparty and a service provider which can allow businesses to interface with blockchain.
I know you recently announced a new 5-year strategic vision for the company. What was that?
Sure. Yeah. Our strategic 5-year vision is effectively, in a sense, to bring all the use cases and all the benefits that blockchain and Bitcoin can bring to the industry at large. Our 5-year plan starts off with the delineation between what people have seen as mining or call mining in the past, which was sort of like a ramp up schedule, which was like an introduction of how digital currencies come into the ecosystem. But after that initial kickstart, you really need to run businesses on top of it. And the first step is to provide transaction processing services, followed on by our strategy with blockchain compute, eventually IoT and hardware and specific devices for blockchain computing. And that sort of rounds up our sort of 5-year vision of really what it will take to bring blockchain into the limelight and to common usage.
Well, you did recently announce that you've brought on 9 new clients to your transaction processing business. So are things kind of going fairly well despite the pandemic?
Yeah, I think so. I think we can count ourselves pretty lucky. The pandemic has not slowed down our businesses, our growth much, because our growth is software, mostly in software, mostly in building out teams and people and resources. Our the clients in our beta program for our transaction processing platform are currently testing in live BSV net, where they are sending transactions through us as a service provider. And then we distribute the transactions and put them into the blocks, whether it be through our own mining services or back-end block production services or other miners. So I think we are showing good progress, and hopefully we'll have some interesting announcements to make in the coming months.
Yeah, we're hoping to follow that. You're also expanding your offices into Switzerland. Maybe talk about why Switzerland, and then who are some of these new executives that you're hiring as well?
Sure thing. Yeah, I think Switzerland is sort of a key part of our strategy to position ourselves as the enterprise solution provider for blockchain, public blockchain, which is BSV. The reason Switzerland is because there is a very crypto-friendly regulators and banks and companies there. There's Zug particularly is called Crypto Valley because of the congregation of companies that are in the space, that are building in the space. And these are companies all like us, are very focused on actual use cases, actual utility applications for blockchain. And you see, I think, a more of a pragmatic approach to digital assets and digital currencies. And I think this is very, very key. For our hiring, we've hired a lot specifically, I think 7 or 8 C-level positions, from our CTO to Chief Compliance Officer, Chief Operating Officer, and so on and so forth, business development, product development. And these leaders help fill out our org chart and our capabilities to basically structure ourselves very much like a very more mature company, running a very sort of dynamic, innovative platform and strategy. So I think I'm very happy with the build out there. And once everybody is fully on board, I am really looking forward to the stuff that we can start doing and leveraging there through Switzerland.
Yeah, and in terms of being kind of more exposed to US investors, you did upgrade to the OTCQX on the OTC markets in July of this year. What value did you see in trading the stock on the OTCQX?
Yes. I think that market is very important as part of our strategy to reach wider markets. I think our trading is quite limited right now on just the Canadian Securities Exchange, and reaching U.S. markets and U.S. investors is very important to us. That's because a lot of the potential interested parties, interested stock shareholders, do reside in the United States, and the options market in the United States is a stepping stone that we see as necessary to increasing our liquidity. And that's one of the things that we also want to focus on in the next 6 months, is to increase the liquidity of our shares so that we can have a better price discovery.
Well, there's definitely lots going on for you, Jerry. Thanks so much for the time today.
Thanks very much, Christine. It was a pleasure.